let's get to that, because that's another very interesting meeting that was held. It was not exactly a bilateral, it was a pull aside. He had in fact interacted with Canadian counterpart Justin Trudeau on the sidelines of the G7 summit. This of course comes amid strained diplomatic ties between New Delhi and Ottawa after the latter had accused India of being involved in the killing of Khalistani terrorist Nijjar on Canadian soil. India has of course reiterated that these reports are baseless. Meanwhile, the Prime Minister had a brief conversation with his Canadian counterpart at the summit, and what is of note in fact is the tone and tenor used by Prime Minister Modi to in fact describe this meeting. All over his social media account X, Prime Minister Modi has repeatedly reiterated while meeting different world leaders, whether it is Joe Biden or even Fumio Kishida or even Sheikh Zayed of the UAE or President Lula. He has always said that he's had a very productive meeting or he's delighted to meet them. But when it comes to Justin Trudeau in particular, he just wrote one single line that he met the Canadian PM. He tagged him at the G7 summit, nothing else. So of course he is sending a message via this, and to give us more context regarding this is Mr. Sanjeev Srivastav, international affairs expert, who is joining us on the broadcast this morning. Good morning, sir. Thank you for speaking to us on NewsX. I've just pointed out how the Prime Minister has described his meeting with Justin Trudeau at the sidelines of the G7 summit. Do you think India is sending a message? And do you think the Prime Minister, of course, being invited to the G7 summit for the 5th consecutive time is reflective of India's leadership role in the world stage?
Well, Pia, first of all, a very good morning to you. Good morning to all the viewers. Yes, certainly it reflects the India's growing influence and deepening influence in the global affairs. And India is indispensable global partner. And obviously, India is currently playing its leadership role in every issue of global concern, whether it is about maintaining a democratic rules-based order in the Indo-Pacific region and elsewhere, whether it is a challenge of terrorism, climate change related issues, issues of protecting global commons. Every international issue, India is providing its proactive leadership. And this new India under the leadership of Prime Minister Shri Narendra Modi is dealing with the global affairs with the vision of Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam, with the vision of Vishwamitra, Vishwabandhu, and that is being appreciated, and that is why India is being, time and again, to 5th consecutive time, as you rightly said, has been invited in the G7 like summits. And but with regard to your other question, certainly our relationship with Canada has not been good, and a real reason for such kind of deterioration in our ties with Canada is Justin Trudeau and his immature way of dealing with this relationship. And for to gain some narrow political, points in its domestic circles, a Canadian Prime Minister has, really made a very negative impact on this India-Canada relationship by putting up a very false allegation, baseless allegations on India, and we have seen that such kind of allegations have been time and again being repeated. So relationship has not been good with Canada, and that is quite reflective in the statements which have come out. As you very rightly mentioned, that with other leaders, the kind of words have been, used by Prime Minister Shri Narendra Modi. That is not the case with the Canadian Prime Minister Justin Trudeau. And obviously, this shows that a tension between India and Canada remains. And for to resolve all such, negative sentiments in the relationship, I think Justin Trudeau will have to take constructive, positive steps. And obviously, we are very much concerned that in Canadian soil, a lot of anti-India activities are being carried out, and Canada has not taken proper action to curb those activities, and that is another another concern, because of which this relationship is very much not in good shape. So I think this is quite reflective, and I think Canada will have to take such steps to resolve whatever the tension is there. But unfortunately, because of the narrow political considerations in its domestic circles, Canadian Prime Minister Justin Trudeau, who is running a minority government, is not taking any such actions. So till the time that happens, I think this relationship will remain tense. But yes, that is a current reality of India-Canada relationship, that it is not in a very good shape.
For more such videos, subscribe to the NewsX YouTube channel, hit the bell icon.